car at Voss, and I'm in the sports studies program. So I teach intro to PE, exercise science, a couple coaching courses, and methods of physical education. I've taught for 18 years, and I loved teaching, but I was ready for a change. I've always taught elementary PE, so I was ready for a change, and so I actually got my master's in curriculum and instruction, which allowed me to be able to teach at colleges. And so I was ready to change, and they offered me to be an adjunct here. So I've been here for 3 years, and then this is when the full-time position opened, I was like, okay, can I qualify for it? I don't know. So I went and had conversations, and like, well, you'd have to go back to school, but would we consider it? So I said, great, because I love it. I love the field here. I've really enjoyed my time here. So I was an adjunct. I was not full-time. I was working a different job, and I would just come to campus for one class a semester. Definitely have just changed with my own teaching. I mean, relationships first. I love students. I want kids to be able to know that they have a future, regardless of where they came from. But I definitely enjoyed working with older ages. Just feeling like a kindergartner at 5 years old can tell you what they want to do, but then when you see high school and college students, like, you can actually see them get to what they want to do. And I loved being able to see them accomplish their dreams and goals. When I graduated high school, I went to a school that I thought, okay, I went there because it was location. I was able to run track there. And then I knew I would major in physical education. I shouldn't say it that way. I ended up majoring in physical education, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be done in a couple years, but I want to pick up coaching, and I want to do health education as well, so that I could market myself better in a school district. So I ended up transferring. So it took me a little bit longer because of the transfer, picking up extra credits and things that they required. And so I graduated in December, and I substitute taught in a couple different school districts to kind of see and get a feel for what I wanted to do. Yeah, so I've always loved sports, always have been super competitive. I'm the youngest of 3 kids, and so, right, I always wanted to compete against my older sisters and beat them in things, right? I had success in sports in high school, and I just loved the relationships. Being able to trust my coaches and forming relationships with my coaches. They were mentors for me, but then also the friendships, and it's like you develop that with the people that you do day to day, in and out. You win with them, you lose with them, and so I still have some really, really close friends from that time, and I wanted to be able to be the type of a coach to younger girls that my coaches were to me. And so I started coaching when I was actually a junior in high school. I started coaching little kids basketball, and then eventually rolled up into different ages. Coached volleyball. I coached volleyball for about 18 years. I did little kids, middle school, and high school. I think it's really hard to quantify, actually, but the sports world is such a big, vast world, right? But the moment that you can create a relationship or a contact point, whatever it is, whether it's, hey, we coach this sport together, or we coach against each other, or, hey, I look up to you because you're at this level of coaching, right? I coached high school for a long time, but then how can I incorporate with college coaches? What can I learn from college coaches? And because I'm an avid sports fan, and I feel like I'm semi-knowledgeable, right? I can give feedback on kids. I can watch kids. I've scouted for some friends, right? Hey, will you go watch this team? The moment you have that, and right, everybody, well, I'm here for a couple years and then I move. Now all of a sudden my network or my contacts are, okay, well, it's not just Minnesota. Now it's Minnesota and Kansas, or Minnesota, Iowa, and Kansas, or, oh, this person left to go to California. Okay, now I have a contact out in California. Originally I was going to go to school actually to be a surgeon. I was medical, right? And I was like, I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I can do teaching in 3 years. I just didn't want to do school for forever, which sounds weird because I'm a teacher, so I'm in school anyways. But I was expecting, like, right, you expect your life path to go one direction and things happen and it changes. I think for me, the thing now that I wish I would have changed differently is I wish I would have pursued a graduate assistant, like to immerse myself in a different level of coaching, to learn from people who are better coaches than me. And maybe, you know, spend some time at the collegiate level and then determine from there. So I wish I would have like tapped the brakes a little bit and done my master's earlier in my life, just to see where that could have gone.